what's up, everybody? Welcome to another exciting edition of the Low Budget Show with Damon Millard. That's me. You joined us for a very good episode today. It's very producer heavy. Today on the show, we're going to have the Low Budget Show executive producer Juggalo Jon is here. We also talked to live events producer Matt Kemple of Milwaukee Comedy. That's right, so it's a really good show. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm starting to really enjoy the Low Budget Show. It's becoming one of those things, man. It's like now it's like a labor of love for me. At first it started off as a joke, and now I'm really starting to like it. So thanks for joining me, and keep coming back. Tell some people about us. First things first, what do we want to do?
First, let me say congratulations to Crane's Butters for winning the free hand-scooped Oreo ice cream bar sandwich, ice cream sandwich. Yeah, he won.
Now you can claim this. You can claim this at Carl's Jr.'s or Hardee's. If you don't know, if you didn't know, like, look right here. It has two names, which I don't really understand. It's weird. If you're in the South, it's Carl's Jr. If you're in the North, it's Hardee's, and I don't really know why that is or where that came from. Anybody else know? Tell me about it. Do you know why there's two names? I don't. Let me know by contacting me at damonsmillard@yahoo.com, or you can tweet at me at laughingcock, LAUGHINGCOK. All right, so I don't know, but yeah. So congratulations, Cranes, but I also have to say sorry, because I didn't realize it, but it actually expired. This is expired, so I'll still send it to you, but I don't know if you can use it. But you did win it. You won this. So congratulations to Crane's Butters.
Next time, I'll have a better giveaway. How's that? Is that good?
Let's do this. Low budget mail. Dun, 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 low budget mail. Dun, 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 low budget mail. That's the theme song for Low Budget Mail.
And I just made it up on the spot, so that was pretty neat, right? Yeah, I'm getting good at this. I'm getting really good at this. So,
okay, for Low Budget Mail, I probably should have been prepared. Do you remember a couple episodes back where I told everybody the story about how I got a boner when I was in the MRI machine? Right? Well, I asked people to,
send in any boner stories they might have, and I did get one of my first pieces of mail comes to us from Rob Frisbee,
Frizz, as people know him. So Frizz writes to me, funny boner story. That's the subject, here we go. So me and a friend are at Fitzy's. Mad posted, I might add. I don't know what that means. We kept getting free pictures, probably like 4 or 5 from different people. I decided I needed to use the restroom, so I did. And to my dismay and horror, I find my manhood hanging out of my pants, just flopping around for all those to see. Well, I'm glad it was hanging out of your pants and not your shirt, because that would be way more disturbing. I didn't even feel a draft. How did I not notice? Well, I guess that explains why we got so many free beers.
Yeah, that also explains why they were all from gay dudes, right?
Oh, here's my favorite part. This is the absolute favorite part. The night did not get better after that. Oh, it didn't? Dude, the suspense is killing me. What happened, Frizz? We got in a car accident, and I had brain fluid coming out of my nose and ears, along with a broken rib.
This isn't a funny boner story. This is terrible.
Terrible. That's my embarrassing boner story. Top that, bitches. Alright, thanks so much for writing in, Frizz. If you guys ever have anything you want to share on the show, just get a hold of me at damonsmillard@yahoo.com. gmail.com or tweet at me at laughingcock.
Man, that was not a funny boner story. Talk about being mislabeled.
So, yeah, I hope the tape was a little shaky today, so I hope that's not messing with the video. I was so hungover earlier, I tried to tape this segment like 3 or 4 times. It kept coming out terrible, so whatever. Today I'm drinking Dasani sparkling water with lemon, naturally flavored sparkling water beverage. It's pretty good. My girl gets mad when I drink these. They're hers, but she's not home, so what's she gonna do? What's she gonna do about it? Nothing. Okay, what's next on the show? Oh, continuing with the low budget mail. I don't remember the theme song. That's why you're supposed to like write theme songs. Okay, I also got it came by way of a Facebook message from Tony Brancotti from Milwaukee. He told me that maybe we should think about... Damn it, this is shaking a lot. He told me that maybe we should think about changing the Low Budget Show, not calling it a video podcast, but calling it a web show. And that makes a lot of sense. Because he basically was like, Dame, and, you know, I'm just paraphrasing here, but he was like, Dame, the Low Budget Show is the best show that's ever been taped, ever.
It's the funniest thing that's ever been on video. It's the greatest piece of Americana that this world has ever seen. So basically, you're doing yourself a disservice by calling it a video podcast. And he's absolutely right. And, you know, I ran this by executive producer Juggalo Jon, who we're going to see in just a minute. And maybe we'll ask him about this. So he's right.
And we decided to change we're no longer considering the Low Budget Show a podcast. We are now considering it a web show. So just make those updates. And that brings me to this segment where this is I would never steal another show's bit, you know, so we're not going to do a top 10, but we're going to do a top 8 right here. The hierarchy of narcissism. These are narcissistic ways of expressing yourself, and we kind of made a ranking of them, okay? And so I already revealed that number 8 is web show, right? Okay, they go in a descending order from least to most depressing, you know, the most desperate. Like web shows, it's still on the list. It's still like, please watch me. Please validate my existence, right? And then as you go, it gets worse and worse to where down here you're like, oh, please, I'll do anything. So web shows coming in at solid number 8. What's number 7? We already talked about it. Podcasts. That's right. Podcasts. Still, they're a little more desperate than a web show, right? And they're narcissistic and self-serving. So that's why they're on the list. What's a little more desperate than the podcast? Blogs. That's right. Blogs. Pretty desperate. Blogs are like podcasts, but with homework, where basically, you know, it's a podcast that you have to read, you know, and it's very self-serving. It's shitty. Okay, ready? Continuing the list because we got a great show to get to. All right, number 5 is Twitter. Yeah, Twitter is one of these very narcissistic things where you just go out and talk about yourself, and you got to do it very, very shortly. Only 140 characters. What is the number 4? Down to number 4. What is the 4th most desperate narcissistic form of expression? Hoax news. Hoax news. You're probably saying, Dame, how is that even narcissistic? It's not self-serving, is it? You're not, you know, like, selling your own image. Yeah, you kind of are. You're making up a world that doesn't even exist, you know? You're playing God, and it's not fun. So, hoax news. Shitty, self-serving, and super duper desperate. Alright, we're going into number 3. What do we got for number 3? Family newsletters. These are like the worst things. You ever get one of these things? You know, it's usually at the end of the year, like around Christmas time. Like a family will send them out. Usually, you know, it's usually like a waspy family, I guess. I don't even know. Alright, but it'll be like, you know, it'll have like everybody's accomplishments that year in it. Very much. Keep that shit to yourself. You know what I mean? Those are for bumper stickers, you know? Like, my daughter's an SV honor roll student. Go fuck yourself. Okay, so what's more desperate than family newsletters? Family hoax newsletters. That's right. That's where you send out a family newsletter full of fake news, you know? Like, actually, my daughter got into Harvard and... Oh, grandma's dead. Psych, not dead. Alright, whatever. Okay, and the number one thing, the number one most desperate, narcissistic way you can express yourself, and coming in at number one on the hierarchy of narcissism is, what do you think it is? Selfies. Of course it's fucking selfies. Man, alright. That's the whole thing, right? Was that fun? I wrote this. I don't know. Send me some feedback. You can get a hold of me at Damon S. Millard at yahoo.com. Don't forget the S or you won't get a hold of me. Or you can tweet at laughingcock. Okay?
Cool. So that's the end of this segment. Thank you guys so much. Stay tuned. Stay put, because we're going to an interview right now with the executive producer, Juggalo Jon.
Alright, here we go. Take it away, guys.
This section of the show is brought to you by Non-Menthol Newports. Non-menthol Newports. Now you can smoke at the racetrack without looking weird.
Alright, welcome back everybody. Joining me now is the executive producer of the low budget show, Mr. Juggalo Jon. Please welcome him to the show. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the show. How you doing, John?
David, babe, I'm terrific. Never been better. It's great to be back on the program.
It's always great to have you, John. You are the guy that makes all this possible.
Oh, stop it. No, definitely do. Stop. Don't start that rumor spreading, okay? Let's keep that under our hats, just between you and me.
Juggalo Jon, what's going on? Are you trying to distance yourself from the show?
David, babe, come on, seriously, babe. No, I don't want to take all the credit, you know? We all deserve a little, credit for the show's, success.
You just did finger quotes.
No.
Yes, you did. I noticed because you had to grow arms to do it. You meant success sarcastically.
No, I'm very proud of this show. I'm proud of it in the way like a Puerto Rican is proud of a decade-old used Chevy. It don't rhyme so good, but listen to that distorted bass from the factory speakers. David, babe, you're my factory speakers. You work hard and it shows, I've noticed. In fact, I've been talking to some people about coming in and then possibly buying me out and taking you off of my hands.
Are you trying to sell the show?
No, I would never do that. I'd never do that. I'm simply saying if someone were to pay me money, I'd transfer my ownership stake over to them.
That's what selling is.
Well, listen, babe, guys, one guy really, he's more interested in you than in the show.
What do you mean?
Listen, D, you got that special something. Would you think you were gonna host a low-budget show forever?
Well, no.
You gotta think bigger, babe. I've been talking to this Saudi Arabian guy about possibly selling him your contract.
So what, I'd be like the host of some Saudi Arabian show?
Oh, no. This guy's a weirdo. He wants you dressed in a Speedo feeding him grapes.
John, are you trying to pimp me?
You can't think about it like that, David. David. It's like a character. It's like you're an actor and there's a character, you know, and your role just happens to be a boy hooker. You're in showbiz, ain't you?
Yeah, I guess.
Well, then there you go. I don't really see the big deal, really. You make some money, make me some money, and we can finally put an end to this mistake of a show.
I don't know, it just feels wrong.
Dave, I would never do anything that wasn't in your best interest, okay?
Yeah, okay.
I mean, come on, you're like a son to me.
Yeah, but aren't you suing your son?
Damon, no. You know I would never talk about an ongoing court case. Listen, I'm gonna take some calls. We'll get to the bottom of this, okay? We'll get it all figured out. I gotta get out of here.
All right, give it up for Juggalo Jon, everybody. We'll be right back with an interview with Matt Kemple. All right, welcome back to the Low Budget Show. Got an interview today. Joining me right now is Mr. Matt Kemple from Milwaukee Comedy. How you doing?
I'm great.
All right.
I'm happy to be here.
Well, thanks for joining me. I haven't seen you in a while. How have you been?
I've been really good.
Busy though, right?
Always busy, but I like it that way.
Like you've immersed yourself into this world of live entertainment, right?
In the basement of a mall.
So I have no means of knowing whether it's day or night. And I think that's what really keeps me going, is the fact that I'm in this cave.
I used to do that in college. Like I'd go in, in the winter time, you get to school when it's dark, go into the edit bay, and then when you leave, it's dark again.
I wasn't in the edit bay, but I was in the theater, which, is a big dark room. So yeah.
Could be doing worse stuff, though. You could be doing that at a factory. So.
That's true. That's true. I could be making widgets.
You could.
They're in high demand.
People need widgets, though. I think my mom makes widgets.
So
You're getting known as the Milwaukee comedy guy, but that's not where it started for you, right?
Right.
Is that really all that people are saying about
No,
me?
I didn't mean
feel
that.
like they're saying much worse things.
well, probably.
Yeah, I started most of those rumors, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started out with a background in theater and performance, and that was kind of where my love was. I just loved being on stage, and then I kind of got involved with the tech side of things. I'd help do set building, and then I got into lights and sound, and I really enjoyed kind of seeing all that come together. And then that's sort of what led to wanting to do comedy more. People always just kind of thought I was funny or funny looking, and then I didn't realize that there was a way to do comedy in a structured and real fashion. So that's how I discovered improv, and then got into stand-up a little bit and sketch.
How long did you do improv for?
I guess I still do it sometimes, but I guess I've had improv training for maybe 15 years.
And then stand-up even before that, when I was in high school.
I did it a couple times. One was just this tiny little thing for theater people. So I tried doing stand-up in front of a theater crowd, and it was pretty fun. And then I ended up doing it for the entire school, which is 1,200 people.
Huh. That's more than I've played to, I think.
Yeah, well, it wasn't fantastic or anything.
It was mediocre, but
Right, well,
everybody kept giving me a hard time because they said this girl a couple years before had done stand-up and was horrible.
To the point that people were booing her off the stage.
Oh, wow.
So I just kind of gave it a try. Nobody booed me off the stage, but
yeah.
But yeah, I think there's a tape somewhere my mom has.
From your very well.
Yeah, from those early days. There's a VHS tape sitting in the basement somewhere.
High school stand-up must have been, the material that you must have been doing must have been awesome, right?
Very high-end.
Very intelligent humor. No, it was all... That's one reason I don't do stand-up, is because in college I kind of did it as well, but all my jokes were the freshman parking lot is so far away. Am I right, you guys? That's not,
Am I right?
Hey, you guys, come on, chemistry class, huh? Anybody? So, it was just I didn't write new material when I got out of school, and I was just didn't know what to do with my life, so I just got out of stand-up at that point.
But you fell right in with improv, and it's
Yeah, there's sort of an overlap. I did really enjoy stand-up, and I still have a love for stand-up, but I just don't have a desire to perform it.
So then, yeah, the idea got into improv and applied that to theater in a big way, and then I realized it was something I could do even on its own.
One of the most appealing things for me about improv is that you don't have to, you don't have to come in prepared if you're just going to make it up on the spot,
Well,
right?
I would disagree. You don't have to write anything.
But it's really important to practice.
I get that.
Because you can write as many jokes as you want, but if you don't ever try them until you're in front of an audience, they can really fall flat.
Oh, for sure.
So with improv, I always like to think of it, it's a muscle. You know, you would never run a marathon without stretching.
Right.
And that's the kind of thing with improv is before you do a show, even though, yeah, you might have a great rapport with the people on stage, you really need to be working at it.
And with anything, you know, you start taking cars apart and putting them back together. That's something you can get really good at and do really quickly.
Yeah.
If I tried to take a car apart and put it back together, there would be lots and lots of parts left over, and probably some tears.
But you'd probably find that bag of weed.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, I've been looking everywhere for this.
It was in the engine block? That's so weird. But that makes sense. It was by the filter.
That's true. Yeah.
Basically, this is your life. This is what you do. You put on live shows.
Yep. I like to say that I'm a live events producer.
Because when I just say producer, one, nobody knows what that means, and they think I have a lot of money.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I like to let people know, no, it's live events, so right away people know there's no money.
Oh, right.
It's performing arts or whatever. But that kind of helps people understand what I do. So I like to say I put the puzzle pieces together.
And a lot of that came about just because my background, I was just so fascinated with the industry. And for a long time, I just had blinders on and I thought, I'm an actor and this is all I want to do. And then I found a lot of joy
from building sets and, you know, helping put a production on in a much bigger way. And then I found that I could still get that same amount of joy even when I wasn't in a show. To just have that level of pride, say, you know what, I built that or I helped put this thing together. And then it escalated to the point where it was even bigger than that, where it was, I enjoy doing this because I'm giving other people opportunities that I was always looking for.
And that's really where I kind of woke up one day and people are like, oh, you're a producer. And I'm like, I am?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we need somebody to do this. Will you do it?
Right.
Oh, okay, sure. And
Yeah.
that's just kind of
Yeah,
how
you
it
just-
happened.
You do it enough, and then you're
Yeah, yeah.
oh, you're right, I am.
Where'd this shirt come from?
Yeah.
Like, when did you decide that you didn't want to be happy? You were just, you were like...
Very young.
I don't know. There's certainly a lot of stress.
So there's certain things like running a venue.
Money, how are you going to pay the people involved? How are you going to get the materials that you want to put the show on, this and that?
That's what I really enjoy is I like looking at the big picture and figuring out, okay, you
Yeah.
have this unique idea, how can we put it together
And
with what we have?
I'm guessing that's not just a skill that you pick up by thinking about it. Like, you probably...
Very little is actually accomplished from how much thinking I actually put
Right. So-
behind it. Because I'm like, oh, maybe we do this. And then I try it and I'm like, failure, time and time again.
But that's all those fails
Yeah.
add up to, like, now you got it down, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You can run a show.
Absolutely.
And-
So a lot of that producing experience came directly from the theater world, because in the theater, it's just the beast that it is. There's so many little things that have to happen that you just naturally have to start wearing a lot of different hats. You know, hey, there's nobody to find this table that we need for this show.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll go do that. Boom, you're a props person.
you know, you know, oh, we need this painted black. Oh, okay, yeah, I'll do that. Now you're a set painter, you know, and then all those little things add up.
And comedy to me just seemed like a natural progression, because in some ways the shows can be simpler because there's less things. You don't need to build an exact replica of a room to make that happen.
Right.
You know, you can just put a curtain up. But it can be more difficult because you're working with specific personalities and you're working with different styles of comedy, and it's important, you want to make sure that those fit together the right way.
You put a bunch of different people in the same room and you hope that their styles fit and that the audience enjoys
Yeah.
it. And so to me, that's exciting and it's thrilling. And
It is kind of crazy to think that, like, this is what I do for a living.
And every time I look online, there's always, like, a different show here. Like, how many? Do you know how many you're producing a month?
Or
On average, I'm myself producing 2 to 3 shows a month. And then on top of that, we usually have a few rentals. So there could be as many as 6 or 8 shows a month. So yeah, before I quit my job to do this full time, I was producing maybe 2 or 3 shows a year, including the Milwaukee Comedy Festival.
Oh.
But that in itself is like 9 tiny little shows inside of one giant show.
right.
But so I went from 2 to 3 a year to 3 or 4 a month, which is more than 12 times
Yeah.
instantly.
to me, it's exciting to do a different show all the time because you never know what you're going to get, and
you don't have to
work
get
with
bored.
Yeah, I don't get bored, and even though
I'm guessing you don't have a lot of time for boredom either, though. Can't. Even this interview is just stressful to me.
I do have trouble
letting it go and turning it off. That's definitely one of the downsides. Is one, I just have a lot of energy, so I have to do something, or I will go crazy. Yeah. So what do? I just put it all into my work.
Yeah, and it's paying off, man. This is a great. This is a great venue, and the shows that you produce are always funny, and I guess would we be missing something if we don't mention the Milwaukee Comedy Festival? I mean,
oh well, yeah, we can mention.
I mean, honestly, it's your biggest. It's the biggest thing that you do, and you think about it pretty much 12 months a year.
This year was really weird because we're 9 years this year, going into 10. Thank you, and. Thank you for being a part of it in the past.
I mean,
2 years, 2 years back to back.
That's exciting for me to work with somebody like you, and then now
you're performing all over the country, and getting better at what you're doing. And to me, that's exciting to have had a chance to work with you on that level.
And then hopefully you'll come back and
absolutely
headline a show at some point. But
that would be great.
When you're famous enough.
Not now. Slow down, D.
But, this year was really different because
it used to be a solid 8 months to put it together. And the timeline is still 8 months because of when we accept submissions and when, we're putting all that stuff together up from day one to whatever, that's about 8 months. But there was a lot of time that I really didn't do much with it because all of it was in place already. I have a press release that I've sent out, 9 years in a row.
And it's evolved, and it's at the point where now I just have to change a few things, make sure it's relevant and interesting, But all that stuff, graphic design, all of getting the volunteers, putting all the performers together, there's a process to it now.
But you got that process.
Yeah, and it's all down. It all makes sense. And most of that is because, the first 5 years of it were extremely challenging, and then all of a sudden it became easier. And then, a couple more years it was easier. And then just because of the last 2 years here with how many shows I've done,
it's gotten that much easier where it's just, there's so much that isn't stressful. And then you have these larger elements of stress that you're like, it's still the same amount of stress, just totally different.
Do you get nervous when you're not stressed out? You're like, oh, this should be more stressful than this. Well, I'm missing something.
I do worry about that. Yeah, that's exactly what I do.
This is going way too smooth.
That's how you feel about this interview, right? You're like, this is just going so well.
Well, you've taken over. I'm just sitting back. I'm like, all right, cool.
Water break. Important to stay hydrated.
Yeah. All right. Let's see, what else I want to ask you. Okay, so it's 9 years. It keeps getting bigger, and it's getting more. I'm excited because I think you've hinted that you got some big things up your sleeve.
Yeah, nothing official yet, but we're in talks with some people, and we're trying. So we had Nick Thune come in a few weeks ago, and that was a really great show. So we're looking to bring in more comedians on that level to participate in the comedy festival. And I think that'll be really exciting because for us it's important we want to offer comedians opportunities. And to me that's a great opportunity to be able to say, hey, you'll have you'll have a chance to work with somebody on this level, take a local comedian and give them a chance to work with somebody on that level, gives everybody a reason to work harder and try to be a better comedian. And to me, that's better for everybody. That's better for the comedy scene. That's better for audiences.
Those 9 years that you've busted your balls on this thing, it's
well,
really...
the first 2 I had no idea what I was doing.
Well, all right, the 7 real years. But it's built. It's and to the point where you're adding some validity to the Milwaukee comedy scene that I personally think is overlooked constantly. You know what I mean? But it's out there, and you're bringing it into the mainstream, and I'm really proud of you for that, man.
Thank you.
And it doesn't go unnoticed, I'll tell you that. And
I do appreciate that because most of the time I feel like it does.
And that's, I think, why I'm such a workaholic. Because
Yeah.
when I had other jobs, I would work really hard and I would get recognized for that. And I would be told, hey, you're doing a great job.
Right.
You can relax a little bit. You know what? Hey, you don't need to come in tomorrow. It's great. Take the day off. And I don't have anybody telling me that. So if shows are going well and audiences are having fun, that's great. But I don't have anybody saying, hey, Matt, take a day off. You should probably relax a little bit.
Matt, soak your feet.
Get some Epsom salts.
Grab a Snickers. It's cool. We got this.
Yeah.
Like it's
It is-
all taken care of.
It is tough to let it go sometimes, but it's also because I do enjoy what I do.
Have a love for comedy and a love for producing, and
Yeah.
I don't want to stop. It's just like, oh, this idea, this thing, what if we try this?
Yeah, and that love outweighs comfort a lot of times. And you made that choice.
Now you gotta live with it, big guy.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think we're out of time, but
I can see the tape is running out.
yeah,
'Cause
we were actually shooting this on VHS in case
Yeah.
you didn't know, and he can literally see the tape, the 16 millimeter. It's just. Did you notice that
That's
I
a lot
changed?
of different
Did you notice I
technologies.
changed VHS?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, and also
It doesn't fit in the Betamax very
No,
well,
it's
but-
not doing good in there. Oh. You sure we should have put 16 millimeter film in there?
It'll work fine.
Nah,
It gives
it's
it an
fine.
HD quality.
It looks great. All right, but no, I do want to thank you for joining me.
Oh, you're welcome.
As always, check out MilwaukeeComedy.com. And you can check anything going on comedy wise, not even just your stuff.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
That's how cool you are, right? You're
I
like,
try. Well, I mean, to me, the comedy scene is important. We all are in it together.
You'll benefit it.
And
you'll benefit
everybody
from that.
benefits. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody benefits.
All right. Well, great, man. Well, it's good to see you again. I wish I was sticking around, and so make sure to check them out. Check out MilwaukeeComedy.com and come check out this year's Milwaukee Comedy Festival. Information will be up on that website. This is Mr. Kemple.
That's me!
All right, and we're saying goodbye. See you guys later.